Welcome to this course on productivity principles for salespeople. Look, you want to be super productive and you want to put up your best results. To do that, you're going to need to follow a set of principles that allow you to do good work. I'm Anthony Iannarino and I'm going to be your guide for this training, in part because it's important to your success and in part because I'm serious about productivity. It's part of human effectiveness, my primary area of interest. While I can't promise you more time, you get the same 8,760 hours a year as everyone else does. What we cover here can and will help you do more with the hours you have, some part of which are dedicated to sales. So let's get started. Number one, start your week with a plan already in place. One of the most important actions you can take is to plan your week before the week starts. By planning your week ahead of time, you don't have to spend time determining what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. This will prevent you from opening your inbox and scouring the hundreds of emails that have poured in overnight. And it will also prevent you from starting your day in a reactive mode instead of a proactive one. It can help to understand the mechanics of planning your week. The first thing you want to do is review your prior week to make sure that you block time for any follow-up work you need to do or to keep any commitment you've already made to a prospective client or a current client. You want to make sure that you get these things on your calendar so you don't leave any open loops, and so you always appear to your clients to be buttoned up and on top of all the commitments you make. If there's work that you need to do, you need to block it on your calendar ahead of time, which leads us to the next principle. Principle number 2, block 3 90-minute sessions each day. If there's one thing that I teach and train and coach that produces the greatest overall result in a salesperson's individual productivity, or any other person in any other role for that matter, it's to block 3 90-minute sessions of focused work each day. Let's do the math to see what 3 blocks of 90 minutes each amounts to in the course of a day. If we take the number 270, the number of minutes you will have dedicated to focused work, and we divide that by the number 60, the number of minutes in an hour, you end up with 4.5 hours of focused work. Assuming that you work an 8-hour day, you're committing 4.5 hours to sales-related tasks and projects and initiatives, leaving 3.5 hours for you to respond to the needs of your clients, your company, or anything else that needs your attention. Doesn't it seem fair to you as a salesperson that you should be allowed to have 4.5 hours for sales-related responsibilities, taking care of everything that's in your email box or your voicemail after you've done the work that's most important? Makes total sense to me. What you'll find is that blocking 90 minutes to respond to a request for proposal ends up taking you something like 48 minutes total because you dedicated the time and you blocked out all distractions. You end up being far more productive than you would be otherwise. Principle number 3, make your first 90-minute session a prospecting block and do it first thing in the morning. You are no doubt superstitious about the days and the times that you prospect. Some of you believe that Monday is a terrible day to prospect. Those of you that have that superstition tend to believe that Thursday and Fridays are better days to prospect. Others believe that Monday is the very best day to prospect, as a client has just gotten back to work and they're now focused on their job. That's the opposite superstition. Whatever you believe, I know it feels true to you. Some people believe that the morning is a terrible time to prospect because people are just getting to work and opening up their email. The people that believe that are the kind of people that get to work and open up their email. They believe that prospecting later in the day is a better choice. The truth of the matter is there isn't a right time or a wrong time to prospect. Here's what is true about prospecting. Yesterday was better than today, but today is better than tomorrow. And 3 months ago would have been an excellent time to create the opportunities that you need right now. And here's the truth. 90 minutes of prospecting every day will do more to ensure that you have a full pipeline and enough opportunities to reach your goal than just about any other strategy you might choose. Why then do I suggest you do it first thing in the morning? Because by taking care of your prospecting first thing in the morning, you ensure that it gets done. Those who tell themselves that they'll do prospecting later in the afternoon are deluding themselves. Once the day starts, you're going to have emails, text messages, phone calls, voicemails, people walking into your office to ask you for something, and a host of other distractions. You also open up the opportunity that clients are going to call you to have a conversation and thousands of other things that will prevent you from being able to do your prospecting later in the day. Be a professional and do your prospecting first, which brings us to our next principle. Treat your 90-minute sessions exactly like you're on a sales call. You can think of that first 90-minute block of prospecting as sacred time. You build a firewall around it, and you never let anything come in and disturb you while you're doing this work. You'll thank me for telling you what comes next. I'm going to give you permission to do something that you don't believe you have permission to do, but I promise it's transformational once you start to execute the strategy. When you sit down to do your prospecting block, treat that time as if you're in an actual sales call, presenting to the 5 decision makers who are going to determine whether or not they're signing a contract worth $5 million to you. So now I've got your attention. You are right now standing in the boardroom with 5 stakeholders prepared to sign a contract for $5 million deal. Your cell phone rings, and it's an existing client who needs to let you know that a shipment is missing, and they need your help. You recognize the phone number immediately. This is one of your favorite clients. You always pick up the phone when they call, no matter what. So do you let the phone ring, or do you pick it up? You know you're not going to pick it up. You still love that client, but you are not picking up that phone. Your client will forgive you, and your relationship will be no worse for you ignoring that phone call. How does your client know that you're not on a sales call or in a meeting when you don't answer their phone? They're not going to be unhappy when you get back to them and say 45 minutes from now after you've done your prospecting. You have to remember that your client called you when it was convenient for them, and they're prepared to leave you a voicemail should you not answer the phone. Now, the next time you're in a prospecting block and the phone rings, you know that you're doing yourself and your future self a disservice by picking up that phone call. If you pick up that phone call now, after this conversation that we just had, then you're guilty of doing so knowing that you shouldn't. I tried to put you in a little box here so I can make sure that you do this. All right, principle number 5. Prioritize opportunity creation over any other task available to you until you've completed the prospecting you need to do each day. Your email might be getting full. Keep prospecting and make sure you create the new opportunities you need. I could easily make an argument that 2 of your 3 blocks should be around opportunity creation, and the 3rd block should be used for following up on every existing opportunity to move it forward. Why the prioritization of opportunity creation? Because you can never capture an opportunity that you don't first create. The likelihood of you missing your quota or your target or your goal is going to be driven by too few opportunities to be able to produce the results you need. A surplus of opportunities inoculates you from any bad things that might happen. You know that big deal you've been working on for 2 years, the one that finally looks like it's going to cross the finish line? Well, that company was just acquired by their largest competitor, and they have a long relationship with your rival across the street. You wish you had another deal now, right? You know the new opportunity that you've been working on with the hard-charging C-level executive who wants this deal done before the end of the quarter? Well, he just got distracted by another opportunity, and he shifted the budget to the new initiative, one that now replaces yours. Really wish you had another opportunity now, right? When you work in sales, a lot of things can happen that are outside of your control, no matter how well you sell. Your client can be completely compelled to change and not be able to get consensus from the rest of their team. The only way to ensure reaching your goal is to have more opportunities than you need to protect you from any downside risks. Don't wish you had more opportunities. Do the work to make sure you have them. Principle number 6, avoid email until 10:30 a.m. Kind of a precise command here. You're going to find this theme throughout all the principles, but let's make this one incredibly clear. Don't open your email until 10:30 a.m. Don't open it when you wake up, even though it's probably your alarm clock. Don't even open it while you're on the treadmill. Just leave it closed. The problem with opening your email is that your inbox is a place where other people make requests and assign tasks to you. It's overwhelming to have so many people asking you to do so much work before you're able to do the work that's most important to your results. It creates a certain type of stress that's unnecessary. The average worker receives 126 emails a day. That's 1 email every 4 minutes. That is not a race that you can run. You have to decide what doesn't get done. You have to make a decision between doing the work that actually results in new opportunities and new clients, or work that has very little to do with either of those 2 outcomes. Think about what a burden an email is. First, you have to open it, and then you have to read it. Then you have to decide if you're required to do something. Then you have to decide when you're going to do it and how you're going to do it. And then you have to send the person an email to communicate with them. And 4 seconds later, they respond to you. And the next thing you know, you're negotiating all of this over them with a back and forth email change. Not a good use of your time and not productive. You need to be responsive to the people who need you, but you don't need to be always on and always available by email or by text. It's a bad practice to be always available because it means you're always open to distractions and interruptions. Distractions and interruptions are the exact opposite of the state you need to be in to be productive. Close your inbox, leave it closed for 90 minutes. At the end of 90 minutes, scan it, see if there's anything in there that needs your attention, and if there is, take care of it. And then get back to doing your real work. No email until 10:30 a.m. All right, number 7, hyper-schedule. One strategy that can make you more productive is to hyper-schedule. What that means is you schedule your entire day from beginning to end. You literally fill every hour with exactly what you're going to do during that hour. But I'm going to give you my version of hyper-scheduling. Front load your day with sales-related tasks using the 90-minute blocks. At the end of those 90-minute blocks, maybe give yourself 30 minutes to respond to email or voicemail, following up with anyone who needs something from you. After your second 90-minute block, give yourself another 30 minutes with nothing on the schedule except free time. You don't have to schedule something in every block, even if you're scheduling every block. If you want to block an hour of white space so you have some margin, should you need to do something or should something that needs your attention shows up in your world, you've got some space to do that. Your energy is going to ebb and flow throughout the day. If you're an early bird like me, then your best energy is in the morning and you want to front load your day. If you're like my friend Jeb, he gets more energy as the day goes on. I do all of my thinking work very early in the morning and he does his later in the day. This is called your chronotype. And whatever it is, that's what it is. And you want to acknowledge that and build your day around it. So hyper-schedule, but make sure that hyper-scheduling means you leave yourself white space throughout the day. Number 8, use a set of tight filters. One of the things you want to do is create a set of filters. Filters keep things out. They only let what's good and healthy through. Think of your water filter or your air filter. What you need is a task filter to keep out the non-essential. Not everything deserves to get through your filters if you have any filters at all. Let me give you a couple ideas about filters that are worth looking at. What's the highest value activity available to me now? I want to remind you as you answer this question, there's only 2 things that we do in sales, creating opportunities and capturing them. Everything else is just commentary on those 2 things. Because that's true, the most valuable activity that you can take has to have something to do with professional selling. How could it be otherwise? Another filter you might consider is a filter that allows you to see opportunities that need your attention and have some sort of time sensitivity attached to them. For example, you may have a new opportunity, but it means you have to rearrange your schedule to make time to meet with the client and to go through a number of conversations faster than you would normally need to. But you need the opportunity and you believe that it's in your wheelhouse, so you're going to filter that through because it's time sensitive, and if you don't act fast enough, you may lose it. The thing that filters do for you is allow you to screen out. When you say, is this the highest value activity I can be working on? And the answer is no, then you filter that out. You remove it from consideration. You put something of a higher value in its place. Filters help you say no to small things so you can say yes to bigger things. You do want to say yes to big things, right? And number 9, measure your results on sales outcomes. One of the most important things you need to know is that you measure results on sales outcomes. Right now, the entire world is confused by the idea of efficiency. They believe efficiency means doing more things faster with less energy. That's partially correct. Efficiency is a measurement that assumes that you achieve the outcome with less resources used to do so. It's not doing more work, it's using less effort to produce the same result. So right now, everyone's trying to automate prospecting, something that we would call spamming each other on LinkedIn or something like that. The efficiency of automation to spam us faster is not making people more productive in sales. Instead, it's making them alienate people at a faster clip than they could otherwise. They're doing a lot of work, but it doesn't matter because they don't get the outcome. That's inefficient. I like to ask people who try to sell me sales training on LinkedIn whether they would teach my team to target their messages to people that don't sell the same thing they sell. It's a little cheeky, but they deserve something worse. How do you measure your results as it pertains to productivity and sales? There's some easy metrics to use. Did you have a meaningful conversation with clients? Did you create new opportunities? Did you move the existing opportunities you have forward? Did you win a new deal? Did you help a client execute in such a way that they got a far better result than they could have without you? Don't worry so much about the amount of work you do, even though you may need to do more work. Instead, worry about the difference that you make and the outcomes that you create through doing that work. Okay, these are the productivity principles for working in sales. Follow these principles, do good work, pay attention to what's important, and take care of your clients. And most of all, thank you for joining us here at Outbound.